And our Ask on Blast, as we discussed last week, was that we were going to do our top albums of the year. Okay, so you go first. What's your third album? Your third favorite album of the year?
My number 3 is your number 1.
Oh.
So I'll just put it out there.
Are you sure about that?
And we can. Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay. So my number 3 is 444.
That is not my number 1, but okay.
Oh. How does Jay-Z put on a record this year and it's not your number 1?
No, go ahead.
His most personal album. I thought using one producer throughout the entire album was very, very cool. Got some of my favorite Jay songs since the Black album, for sure. I think that Story of OJ is a song that really, you want to talk about like defining 2017.
Yep.
I really think that the Story of OJ is the song for 2017.
Interesting. I like it.
And the more I listen to it, honestly, man, the more it's grown on me. I think when it came out, I was really expecting it to be like another Watch of Thrones kind of Jay-Z, a little more boisterous or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I kind of like the laid back, kind of withdrawn Jay. And like I said, I think that the one producer thing on the album really helps it.
So I like that. And obviously, yes, Jay-Z will be on my list, but he's just not number 1. My number 3 favorite album of the year, Webby, might be a surprise to you because it's someone you're familiar with. It's your boy Meek Mill and Wins and Losses. That is my third favorite album of the year. I love this album. And it could be because I was surprised by it. Like, I was always going to check it out because I've always been a fan of Meek Mill. I've always thought Meek Mill was really, really good in terms of, you know, he could hit you with the bangers, but he could also hit you with the serious songs as well. But just his flow is just so dope. And when he finds that right beat and he catches that right beat, Meek Mill is so, so good. I definitely think he's one of the most underrated rappers of his generation for sure. And obviously the whole stupid Drake beef or fake beef or whatever we want to call it, that like kind of stifled his career in terms of the mainstream success. But I feel like real hip hop heads have always known that Meek Mill is dope. And he reminded us of that with this album, Wins and Losses. My favorite song on this album, and it's one of my favorite songs of the year, is 1942 Flows. Oh man, that song is so dope.
Very good.
So good. And I do want to say one of the reasons I didn't even know what the song was, I became familiar with the song actually because of LeBron. LeBron in one of his weird like workout videos that he was singing out. Yeah, remember that? He just had the song bumping and it was like right when the album came out. So I didn't even know what it was. And then it wasn't until maybe a couple weeks later when I finally did check out the album and I was like, oh shit, this is what LeBron was bumping the other day. I didn't even connect those dots. You know what I mean? But again, Wins and Losses, Meek Mill. If you haven't checked it out, if you hesitated on taking in Meek Mill, which if that's the case, what's wrong with you? Definitely check out Meek Mill's Wins and Losses. That is my number 3 album of the year. Webby, you're number 2.
Okay, first, I got to say something about Meek Mill. I've never heard a rapper who has better first tracks on his albums.
Yes.
It's like every single one of his albums, the first song is so good.
Agreed. Cosign.
Okay, so my number 2, it's going to go off the hip-hop track a little bit. There's a band, and they're from Philadelphia, and they're called Sheer Mag.
Okay.
All right? SHEERMAG. They're like not a punk band, but definitely a rock band.
Okay.
And they put out their first actual album this year, and it's called Need to Feel Your Love. Ooh. And they have a lead singer, a female, and hold on, let me just look up her name. Just give me 2 seconds here. Because she is easily the best front person, the best lead singer of a band that I've seen, I want to say, I'll just say in a really long time. And I've seen this band live.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw them in Toronto. I saw them at the legendary venue called the Horseshoe.
Okay.
And if you've ever been, yeah, I'm sure you've been to the Horseshoe, Shelly.
I definitely have. I have a lot of white friends, Webby. I get around, man.
So I saw them at the Horseshoe.
I have an eclectic mix of friends, Webby. So my musical taste, I get introduced to a lot of.
You're from Northern,
exactly. Yeah, I get introduced to a lot of different things.
Okay, so this band rocked my socks. Their lead singer is this girl named Tina Halliday.
Okay.
And she must be pushing 250.
Okay.
She is a big gal with with a crazy voice, and in a performance, a live performance, one of the best lead singers I've ever seen. Now their album is called "Need to Feel Your Love." Get out there and listen to "Need to Feel Your Love." I promise you, it's about 45 minutes, and it's the best rock album you'll hear this decade.
Whoa!
I guarantee it.
That is high praise.
Listen to Sheer Mag. They are my favorite band right now.
That is super high praise there, Webby. I like that, though. I like that. Giving us the deep cuts there.
And they rep Philly.
Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. As Philly is kind of the second home of this podcast, right?
Absolutely. We got to have Singers Corner, and we got to have Sheer Mag Corner.
Amazing. That's amazing. As I said, I get introduced to a lots of different musical tastes, but it always comes back to one man and one man only. And that is my number 2 favorite album of the year is Jay-Z's 444. And I mean, I second everything that you said, Webby, when you discussed the album, and I'll double down. The Story of OJ is just a brilliant piece of music, just in terms of the theme and the concept, and everything behind it is just so good.
It's everything that's perfect about Jay-Z.
Exactly. It's such a good album. And as I've said before on this podcast, when Jay-Z has a theme, that is the best Jay-Z. And this theme of in terms of just what was going on in his life, obviously, it gave him something to say. And when he has something to say, he's more invested. And that is the best Jay-Z. And I've been telling people this. The third verse on the song Smile. First off, Smile is such a beautiful song with that Stevie Wonder sample. It's so good. But the third verse on Smile, he blacks out, and it's old school Jay, just the double entendres, the metaphors, the ability to paint a picture. It's so beautiful. Such a great piece of work. And again, as you said, having one producer give it a central sort of theme and thought and feel, so good. Marcy Me, dope track. Put that on with any other Jay classic. Jay-Z's 444, my number 2 album of the year. Webby.
Okay, so if that's your number 2, then I have a feeling that our number 1s are going to be the same.
I think so. I'll let you go first.
If the Story of OJ was the song of 2017, then Kendrick Lamar's Damn has to be the album of 2017, right?
I wholeheartedly agree, yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. I've been waiting for this Kendrick Lamar since I first heard him on Section 80.
Oh, okay.
I've been waiting for him to put it together. Listen, I like Pimp a Butterfly. I thought Good Kid, Mad City told an amazing story. Untitled, Unmastered, I thought was mind-blowing.
Okay.
But for him to put it all together and not just give us that kind of conceptual, kind of heady thing that we know he can do, but then also just bring it on every single song and keep it tight and concise. You know that I've gone nuts about these 40 or 25 track long Drake albums.
Yeah.
And listen, if this list was a little bit longer, I was going to put More Life on there.
Oh,
because I thought More Life was really good. But what Kendrick, what Jay-Z, what these guys can do in 15 tracks, in 13 tracks, I mean, that's what being an artist is all about. And I thought that Damn front to back was the best album of 2017, hands down.
I agree with you. And the dope part about Damn was just from a conceptual standpoint, just the names of each track, just being one word things, and they're all just different emotions and different elements, so to speak. It was just so dope. And here's the thing, what you said about the fact that he gives you a little bit of everything, there's still the deep and thought-provoking Kendrick, but then there's also just the, you know what, we're going to get Mike Will on some tracks and we're going to give you some bangers. And I think that the fact that he has the ability to take it to the club or give you a banger, but then at the same time have Rihanna sing a dope ass hook on Loyalty. Oh, it's such a good album, cover to cover, such a great listen. And again, maintaining that same deep and thought provoking Kendrick that makes Kendrick what he is. And I think makes him the best.
But still having him show off the skills that he has. Because really, and he's got that same thing that Jay has, which is whatever track that he's on, I can't wait to hear Kendrick when I see his name as a feature on somebody else's track.
So true. So true. Because he has the ability.
I feel the same way with Jay-Z. When Jay-Z's on somebody else's track, I know he's going to be amazing.
That is dope. And we didn't talk about this before in terms of what our albums of the year were going to be. So it's kind of cool that we both agreed on the fact that Kendrick did have the top album of the year. And I'm going to assume that the Grammys might agree with us soon. Not that we really take in the Grammys or use that as a gauge for what we like and didn't like. But I think that when something in the genre of hip hop is considered that dope by most fans, and then it also, like that kind of shows the crossover, right? You know what I mean? Like it's very rare that all hip hop fans agree that an album is dope.
Absolutely. Now, before we get out of here, Shelly, and I gotta go soon, but when we're speaking about hip hop and the Grammys, one of the first real hip hop groups that was recognized by the Grammys was the Roots.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to ask you. Tell me, Shelly, that you saw what Black Thought did on Funkmaster Flex's show.
See, I didn't see it. It came. I was super busy today at work.
Then we're ending the show right now.
Okay.
You're going to pull it up on social media. It's 10 minutes and 45 seconds long.
Okay.
And then you're going to tell me why Black Thought isn't on your Mount Rushmore of MCs.
Okay. That will be our discussion next week for sure.
You're going to call. I know what's going to happen. You're going to put this down. You're going to watch it, and then you're going to tweet me about how awesome it
is. We'll see, Webby. We'll see. That is amazing. But I want to say that is dope, and I'm definitely going to do that. And obviously, because Webby encouraged us to do so, I would advise everyone listening to go do that. And also, don't be afraid to hit us up on Twitter and let us know your favorite albums of the year and also your thoughts on everything NBA. Because, of course, this is the Ball on Blast podcast. As always, unpolished and unapologetic. Again, I am Sheldon Alexander. You can find me on Twitter at Shell Alexander and on Instagram, Sheldon Alexander.
I am Andrew Webster, and you can see me searching for a Carlos Santana Phillies t-shirt jersey around every social media at AWebster84.
That is amazing. And we are always amazing because we are the Ball on Blast podcast. Unpolished, unapologetic. Until next week, see ya.
Peace.
On blast.